Let me ask you something. Have you ever stayed somewhere that slowly stole your happiness simply because you hoped things would change? Maybe you kept waiting for the right words, the right apology, or one final conversation that would finally make everything make sense. But what if the strongest decision isn't holding on? What if it's knowing when to let go? Today, we're going to explore the quiet strength of walking away with dignity. By the end of this episode, you won't only discover useful English expressions and natural listening practice, you'll also learn powerful life lessons about self-respect, emotional freedom, and inner peace. Sometimes we believe walking away means giving up, but the truth is often the opposite. It can be the moment you finally choose yourself instead of endless stress, confusion, and disappointment. So stay with me until the end, because the hardest goodbye you ever say might become the beginning of the happiest version of your life. And if this lesson gave you something useful, you know what to do. With love, let's dive in. Why do you keep waiting for closure? The answer is simple, because your mind wants every story to have a clear ending. We naturally hope that people will explain why they hurt us, admit their mistakes, or suddenly understand the pain they caused. Unfortunately, life doesn't always work that way. Some people leave without saying goodbye, others change without explanation, and some never believe they did anything wrong. Waiting for closure from someone else can keep you emotionally trapped for months or even years. Real freedom begins when you stop expecting another person to give you peace. Instead, you accept that their actions already told you everything you needed to know. That acceptance doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't erase the hurt immediately. But little by little, it helps you stop asking endless questions that have no answers. Closure is often something you create for yourself, not something another person hands to you. That is where healing quietly begins. When does silence become your loudest answer? Silence becomes powerful when you stop using it as a punishment and start using it as protection. Many people believe they must defend themselves every time they are misunderstood, criticized, or treated unfairly. They spend hours explaining their intentions, hoping someone will finally understand them. But not everyone wants to understand. Some people simply want to argue, control, or keep you emotionally involved. In those moments, silence is not weakness. It is wisdom. It shows that your peace is more valuable than winning another useless conversation. Walking away quietly doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It means you've decided that your energy deserves a better purpose. Every unnecessary argument takes something from you, your attention, your mood, and sometimes even your confidence. Silence allows you to protect those things. The strongest people are often not the loudest. They are simply the ones who know which battles are no longer worth fighting. Why do you keep proving your worth? Because deep inside, many people hope that if they explain themselves well enough, work harder, love more, or become more patient, someone will finally recognize their value. But your worth was never meant to depend on another person's opinion. If someone constantly makes you feel invisible, unimportant, or replaceable, no amount of explaining will suddenly change the way they see you. Respect cannot be forced, and appreciation cannot be begged for. The more you chase validation, the more power you quietly give away. Instead of asking, "How can I make them value me?" try asking, "Why am I giving so much energy to someone who refuses to?" That single question can completely change your perspective. People who truly respect you rarely need endless reminders of your value. They notice your effort, your kindness, and your presence naturally. Sometimes the greatest act of self-respect is simply refusing to keep auditioning for a place where you were never appreciated. What makes letting go feel so difficult? The hardest part is rarely losing the person. More often, it's letting go of the future you imagined with them. Our minds create pictures of what life could become, and those dreams can feel just as real as reality itself. When things fall apart, we don't only grieve what happened, we also grieve everything that will never happen. That is why moving on feels so painful. You aren't only leaving behind memories, you're also saying goodbye to expectations, hopes, and plans that once made you smile. But holding on to an imaginary future keeps you from building a real one. Every day spent looking backward is a day that cannot be fully lived forward. Letting go isn't forgetting someone or pretending nothing mattered. It simply means accepting that your future deserves more than endless waiting. Sometimes the door that closes behind you is quietly making space for a better one to open in front of you. Why can't revenge give you peace? It feels tempting because revenge promises something that sounds powerful. The chance to make someone feel the pain they caused you. For a moment, it seems like justice. But real life rarely works that way. Revenge keeps your attention fixed on the past, while healing gently guides you toward the future. Every minute spent planning how to hurt someone back is a minute you could have spent rebuilding your own life. The greatest victory is not watching someone else suffer. It is waking up one day and realizing they no longer control your emotions. That kind of freedom cannot be bought with anger or achieved through payback. It only comes when you decide that your happiness matters more than your pride. Growth becomes your answer. Peace becomes your response. Instead of asking how to make them regret losing you, ask yourself how to become someone who no longer needs their regret in order to feel complete. Why do you keep looking back? Because your heart often remembers the beautiful moments before it remembers the painful ones. When you miss someone, your mind has a strange habit of replaying the best memories while quietly hiding the reasons you had to leave. That is why moving forward can feel confusing. One day you feel strong, and the next day you wonder if you made the wrong decision. But missing someone does not always mean they were right for you. It simply means they were important to you. Those are two very different things. Whenever doubt appears, gently remind yourself why you chose to walk away in the first place. Remember the nights you felt exhausted, the conversations that never changed, and the moments you stopped feeling like yourself. Looking back is natural. Living there is not. Your future deserves your attention far more than your past deserves your constant return. Keep walking, even when your heart asks you to stop for a moment. Hey you're still here, and that really means a lot to me. If you're listening at this point, you're not just a viewer. You're truly part of this community, and I honestly want to thank you for spending your time with me. And I'd love to get to know you a little better, so tell me in the comments, where are you from and what are you doing right now while you're listening? Are you driving, studying, working, cooking, or maybe just relaxing? I read every single comment, and I genuinely love seeing who is on the other side of the screen. All right, let's jump back into today's episode. Ready? Here we go. How do you stop waiting for an apology? The answer begins when you realize that your healing cannot depend on another person's honesty. Many people spend years hoping for a message that never comes. A sincere apology, an honest conversation, or simple words like, "I was wrong." Sometimes those words never arrive. not because your pain wasn't real, but because not everyone has the courage to face what they have done. If your peace depends on their apology, you give them control over your future. Instead, imagine accepting the apology you never received. This doesn't mean pretending everything was acceptable. It means deciding that your life will continue whether they apologize or not. You release yourself from waiting. You stop standing at a closed door, hoping someone else will finally open it. Healing begins when you understand that some chapters end without perfect endings, yet your story is still allowed to become beautiful. What happens when you choose yourself? At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You might even wonder if you're being selfish. Many people are taught to keep sacrificing their own happiness so that everyone else feels comfortable. They apologize too much, ignore their own needs, and carry emotional burdens that were never theirs to carry. Choosing yourself changes that pattern. It doesn't mean becoming cold, unkind, or uncaring. It simply means understanding that your peace matters too. Healthy relationships never require you to lose your identity in order to keep them alive. The people who truly love and respect you will never ask you to abandon yourself just to make them happy. Choosing yourself is an act of responsibility, not selfishness. When your own emotional well-being becomes a priority, you show others how you expect to be treated. Self-respect quietly teaches people what your boundaries are, even before you speak a single word. Why is protecting your peace so important? Because peace is one of the few things that makes every part of life better. When your mind is calm, you think more clearly. You make wiser decisions, build healthier relationships, and enjoy simple moments that stress once stole from you. Yet many people protect everything except their peace. They protect their image, their reputation, and other people's opinions, while allowing constant drama to enter their lives. Walking away with dignity means becoming more careful about what you allow into your heart. Not every invitation deserves your attention. Not every disagreement deserves your reaction. Not every person deserves unlimited access to your emotions. Protecting your peace sometimes requires difficult decisions, but those decisions often create the happiest future. The goal isn't to avoid every challenge. The goal is to stop carrying problems that were never yours to solve. Peace isn't something you find by accident. It's something you choose every single day. Can you care without holding on? Yes. And that may be one of the most difficult lessons you'll ever learn. Many people believe that letting go means they must stop caring completely, but emotions rarely disappear that quickly. You can still appreciate the good memories, wish someone well, and hope they find happiness without inviting them back into your life. Caring doesn't mean giving unlimited access to your heart. Sometimes love, kindness, and respect are expressed best from a distance. Emotional maturity means understanding that not everyone is meant to stay forever. Some people teach you lessons, help you grow, and then become part of your past instead of your future. Accepting that truth takes courage. It allows you to move forward without bitterness and without pretending that nothing mattered. You don't have to erase people from your memory in order to protect your peace. You simply stop allowing yesterday's relationships to decide tomorrow's happiness. That is real emotional freedom. What does real freedom feel like? Real freedom is much quieter than most people imagine. It isn't about celebrating someone's absence or pretending you never cared. Instead, it's the peaceful moment when you wake up and realize they are no longer the first thought in your mind. It is noticing that your smile has returned naturally, that your laughter feels lighter, and that your heart no longer waits for a message that may never come. Freedom is not forgetting your past. It is remembering it without allowing it to control your present. As you continue healing, you'll discover something surprising. Your energy slowly returns. The time you once spent worrying becomes time for learning, creating, resting, and growing. You begin investing in yourself again. Your confidence grows because it is no longer built on another person's approval. That quiet confidence cannot be taken away easily because it comes from within. And once you experience that feeling, you will never want to lose it again. Why is choosing yourself so hard? Because many of us were taught that putting ourselves first is selfish. We learned to keep saying yes, even when our hearts wanted to say no. We worried about disappointing others while quietly disappointing ourselves every single day. Over time, that habit becomes exhausting. Choosing yourself is difficult because it asks you to break old patterns that once felt normal. But healthy boundaries are not walls that push good people away. They are doors that allow the right people to enter while keeping harmful behavior outside. Every time you respect your own limits, you send yourself a powerful message. I matter too. That simple belief changes everything. You stop accepting treatment that hurts your confidence. You become more careful with your time, your emotions, and your energy. The people who truly belong in your life will respect those boundaries instead of fighting against them. Self-respect doesn't separate you from healthy relationships. It helps you build them. How do you leave without losing yourself? You leave by remembering who you were before the pain convinced you to become someone else. Difficult relationships often change people in quiet ways. You may become more anxious, more doubtful, or more afraid of speaking honestly. Without realizing it, you slowly stop recognizing yourself. Walking away with dignity is not only about leaving another person, it is also about returning to yourself. Give yourself permission to enjoy simple things again. Learn new skills. Spend time with people who bring peace instead of confusion. Build daily habits that remind you of your own strength. Little by little, your confidence returns, not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because you finally stop living in survival mode. The person you are becoming deserves your patience. Healing is rarely fast, and it is almost never straight. Some days will feel easy, while others may feel heavy. Keep moving anyway. Every small step is proof that you are finding yourself again. What changes after you finally let go? Everything begins to change, not because the world suddenly becomes kinder, but because you become wiser. You stop chasing people who only give you confusion. You stop begging for attention that should have been given freely. You stop believing that your value depends on being accepted by everyone around you. Instead, you begin creating a life built on peace, respect, and emotional strength. Walking away with dignity does not mean you never feel sadness again. It means sadness no longer controls your decisions. You understand that protecting your heart is not weakness, it is wisdom. As we come to the end of this episode, remember one simple truth. The greatest act of courage is not holding on to something that keeps hurting you. It is trusting yourself enough to walk toward a healthier future. Sometimes the bravest goodbye becomes the most beautiful hello, because walking away with dignity is, in the end, choosing not to lose yourself. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. Your support means so much. It keeps this space alive and growing. With love. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you.